The night was unusually quiet. Inside the towering glass mansion overlooking the city, the kind of silence that only the ultra-rich could afford. Thick carpets, swallowing sound, walls built to keep the world out, and secrets locked behind every polished door. When Billionaire, Ethan Blackwood slowly closed his eyes and allowed his breathing to deepen. Careful, calculated, rehearsed, because tonight he wasn't sleeping at all. Tonight he was watching, testing, and judging from behind stillness, his sharp mind alert beneath the illusion of rest, all because of a single thought that had refused to leave him for weeks. Who is loyal when they think no one is watching? Ethan had built his empire from nothing, clawing his way up through betrayal, fake smiles, and people who bowed only to his money. And after surviving one too many calculated friendships and gold-digging relationships, he trusted no one, not even the staff, who had served him for years except perhaps old Mrs. Alvarez, the maid who had worked in the mansion since before his first billion, a quiet woman with tired eyes and a bowed back who cleaned his room every night, without ever stealing so much as a glance at his possessions. And yet recently something had changed, because Mrs. Alvarez had started bringing her daughter along, a young girl named Lily, barely 18, soft-spoken, observant, with eyes far too honest for a house like this, and it unsettled Ethan in a way he didn't fully understand. He told himself it was harmless. Mrs. Alvarez had fallen ill. The girl only helped sometimes, but a lifetime of suspicion whispered otherwise. And so on this night, Ethan decided to test not the maid, but the maid's daughter, because if corruption existed, it always revealed itself faster in the young. And so he lay still, phone screen dark, chest rising slowly, pretending to sleep as Lily entered the room alone for the first time, unaware that the man she believed unconscious was listening to every breath she took. Lily hesitated at the doorway, the soft click of the door sounding thunderous in her ears as she glanced toward the bed, watching the billionaire's still form beneath silk sheets, his face calm, almost vulnerable, nothing like the ruthless tycoon the world feared. And for a moment she simply stood there, clutching the cleaning cloth in her hands, as if debating whether to proceed or turn back. Because this room wasn't like the others. This room held power, temptation, and consequences, and Ethan felt a flicker of curiosity sharpen into focus as he sensed her hesitation. Because hesitation often came before theft or worse, yet what happened next was not what he expected at all. Lily moved quietly, not toward the drawers, or the desk, or the expensive watch collection displayed openly as bait, but toward the window, where she gently pulled the heavy curtains aside, just enough to let moonlight spill across the bed. Then she turned back, walked softly to the bedside table and adjusted the lamp so the light wouldn't shine directly on Ethan's face. Her movements careful, considerate, almost protective, and Ethan's brow twitched beneath closed eyes, because no one ever adjusted the lighting for him unless they wanted something. Yet Lily whispered something so softly he almost missed it. A few words spoken not to him but to herself. Too much light makes his headaches worse, and those words struck Ethan like a silent blow, because he had never told anyone that, not publicly, not privately. Yet she knew, and as she began cleaning, she avoided touching anything personal, wiping only the surfaces she was meant to, her gaze never lingering on the wealth around her. And when she accidentally knocked a framed photograph from the shelf, she gasped quietly, froze in terror, then carefully picked it up, wiping the glass with her sleeve before placing it back exactly where it had been, her hands trembling not with greed but with fear of disrespect. And Ethan felt something unfamiliar tighten in his chest as minutes passed, because the test he had designed was failing, not because Lily was guilty, but because she was proving something he hadn't planned for: sincerity. Then came the moment he truly hadn't expected, the moment that would stay with him long after this night ended, because as Lily finished cleaning and turned to leave, she stopped again, looked back at the sleeping billionaire, and slowly walked closer, not close enough to touch him, but close enough to speak quietly, her voice barely above a breath. "My mother says you don't sleep much, that you work even when you're sick." She paused, swallowing, clearly nervous. "I don't know if you're a good man or a bad one, but you look very tired." And then she did something that shattered every assumption Ethan had ever held. She reached into her pocket and placed something on the bedside table, something small, ordinary, and completely out of place in a room worth millions, a folded piece of paper, And then she left, closing the door gently behind her, leaving Ethan alone with his thoughts, his racing heart, and the weight of a test that had gone terribly, beautifully wrong. When he finally opened his eyes, the room felt different, quieter somehow, and he reached for the paper, unfolding it slowly to reveal a simple handwritten note. "This tea helps my mother sleep when she worries too much. Maybe it will help you too." Lily, and beneath the note, taped carefully, was a single chamomile tea bag. And for the first time in years, Ethan Blackwood sat up in bed feeling something dangerously close to emotion. Because in a world where everyone took from him, this girl had left something behind without asking for anything in return. And as he stared at that small, fragile offering, one thought echoed louder than any alarm bell he had ever heard. This girl is not what I expected, and neither is what comes next. If this story made your heart pause, if you felt that quiet tension and unexpected
humanity, remember, stories like this only grow deeper from here. Subscribe to the channel because in the next chapter the test doesn't end. It transforms. And the truth behind Lily, her mother, and the billionaire's past will change everything.